Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hello, everyone still awake? Thank you very much for being here. It's really great to see so many people so early in the morning. My name's Jerome DeHaan, and I'm the PR director at Mazda Motor Europe. And I hope you're having an enjoyable time here at the Mazda space. And once again, thank you for staying up with us to such an hour. I'd like to introduce our speakers for our press conference. Kevin Rice. He's the European head of design and a real roadster fanatic, and he will tell you why later. And then he'll be followed by Jeff Guyton, the president and CEO of Mazda Motor Europe, and he'll guide you through the unveiling of the all-new Mazda MX-5. More than any other model, the MX-5 has inspired the direction of Mazda as a car maker. The qualities that have made the little roadster so popular over the last 25 years have been adapted into our other models. Innovations that were inspired by the MX-5, like lightweight design, one with car handling, were refined on other new generation models like the Mazda 3 and the new Mazda 6. And now these innovations, refined, have been put back into the fourth generation MX-5. And that makes this all-new roadster so special. Kevin will now come on the stage, but before that, we'll start where the previous film left off with a short clip about the second generation MX-5. And I'll see you later. Have a good evening.
A very early but a very good morning to you all. I'm Kevin Rice and I'm Mazda's new design director as of this week, which is very fortunate timing since one of my very first duties is to talk about one of my favorite cars. The Mazda MX-5 has always stood for affordable fun in a lovable package. It's a model that's been turning heads for 25 years and people always seem to remember the first time they saw one. In my case, it was more like the first time I heard about one. At the time, I was working in Italy, and my designer friends back in England had all decided to buy an MX-5 before they'd even seen one. Of course, back then there was no internet, so I had to rely on their description over the phone. When asked what the big fascination was all about, they told me, well, it's a bit like a classic British roadster, but cooler. Oh yeah, and it's more reliable because it's made in Japan, which was hardly the best way to explain its design. So when I saw one a few months later, I hardly connected what they told me with what I saw. The car was parked by a lake, surrounded by a bunch of windsurfing types, all trying to be more overcool than the other, but all of them were just standing in awe looking at the car. They were looking at how cool the car was, momentarily forgetting their own coolness. When my friends finally got their cars, they kept telling me these stories of all the crazy fun they were having, racing to and from work. And don't forget, these are all designers working for different car companies who came to work each morning with a smile, but a smile created by a Mazda. The MX-5's design is one of the keys to its overwhelming success. Right from the beginning, Mazda was aiming for a shape with instant appeal, one that said lightweight sports car and superb handling. The designers of the first generation model managed even more than that, creating such a desire that Mazda couldn't keep up with initial demand. A classic was born that was appealing then and still is today. Of course, this made the task facing those responsible for coming up with the second generation MX-5 all the more daunting, particularly since Mazda was not going to be content with hanging on to a virtually identical look. That's a route that had been taken with many roadsters in the past, many of which are no longer around today. But how do you improve on such a good thing? A designer's job is to uphold the appeal and carry over the spirit of a car while evolving and enhancing its expression. There's always a danger of getting it wrong, however, and evolving the MX-5 over the years has certainly been a challenge. It's a challenge to keep up with the times, but without compromising the timeless MX-5 formula that's made it so successful. We've managed to preserve the car's original emotion and soul into the third generation too. It received a stronger looking face, adding muscle and filling out into a more mature design. We gave it modern comfort of a retractable hardtop, for example, along with other convenience features, but again, without compromising the charming, affordable fun factor. The MX-5 remains a living legend. It would seem, certainly, that over the years the evolution has worked, balancing tradition and progress. The MX-5's success has been about knowing what to change and what not to. And that is what I believe we've pulled off yet again with the all-new MX-5. It was a really exciting challenge to find the right form of design expression, enough to bring across the vibrant excitement you see in our current cars, but still keeping the iconic spirit you'd expect from an MX-5. As you'll shortly see for yourselves, every inch of the fourth generation of our iconic Roadster radiates life, depth, and a promise of some good times behind the wheel. The new MX-5, in particular, reawakens those stories of my friends racing to work in the early 90s and wishing I could have been racing with them. I can tell you, it'll be a real challenge resisting racing the new one to work, but I'll try my level best. Thank you.
Wow, good evening, everybody. Good evening. So I'm really happy to see so many people here, even at 3 in the morning. And I also know keenly that this is the sort of situation that we have where I am standing between you and your lunch. And in this case, it's going to be a gorgeous lunch. You don't know yet, but okay. Give me 3 minutes, okay? And then we'll pull the cover off. So, over the last couple of years, ladies and gentlemen, Mazda has had a string of successes on the back of great new cars. Cars designed to celebrate driving. As a result, sales continue to grow. In fact, Mazda is one of the fastest growing automotive brands in Europe. Sales in the first half of 2014 jumped 25% compared to the same period last year. And that's on the back of an 18% increase in 2013 compared to 2012. As a result, global profits have also set an all-time record. And we expect that this year will also be a record profit. So how did we do that? Well, by building cars that are fun to drive and also economical to operate, particularly in real-world conditions. And because instead of heavily investing in hybrid and electric technology, we challenged conventional wisdom to focus first on improving efficiency of the combustion engine. And our Skyactiv engines are widely recognized, just like the whole range of Skyactiv technology in the lineup, which, as you know, includes transmissions, chassis, body, and so forth. Now, in addition, we packaged that all in a great-looking Kodo design, which has won numerous awards. Perhaps the greatest distinction, actually, is that we have won, or we have become finalists in the World Car of the Year design competition 2 years running. This year, in 2014, for Mazda 3, and last year in 2013 for Mazda 6. And remember, of course, and you'll know, that that competition is dominated largely by premium competitors. Well, all of those successes are a product of Mazda challenger spirit. That's who we are. And just like all of those is MX-5, which was one of the most unconventional models released of its time. It's a well-known story. It's well-known to all of you. First launched in 1989, when really no one else thought there was a market for an affordable, lightweight sports car. We sold more than 75,000 of them in 1990, the first year that MX-5 was on sale. And in 2000, we captured a Guinness Book of World Records for the best-selling two-seat sports car with sales of over 500,000. Well, that record has been updated a couple of times since then, and 25 years since the initial production, we've sold 950,000 and still counting, nearly 1 million. Now, the original idea, also, as I think you know, the original idea for MX-5 came from an automotive journalist in the US named Bob Hall in 1979. And what we build is based on the formula, the timeless formula of what a roadster should be. Simple, lightweight, affordable, and reliable. But above all of that, fun to drive. And that formula has resounded with hundreds of fan clubs, countless of enthusiasts around the world who share our passion for this car. And seeing these people with the MX-5, seeing all of you, frankly, at 3 in the morning here, that's hugely motivating to us as a company. And I'm sure when I send pictures to my friends in Japan, it's going to be hugely motivating to them to see you all here at this crazy hour of the day waiting for this cover to come off. Now, spanning 3 model generations since 1989, we really haven't strayed from that original formula. And this guiding principle we call Jinba Itai. Jinba Itai. Person, horse, one, body in Japanese. Horse and rider, one. And that's a formula that we're not going to change with this generation, with the 4th generation. In the 4th generation, for this all-new model, we've added rather specially tuned Skyactiv powertrains. We've leveraged all the experience that we've gained in the last several model launches with Skyactiv chassis, lightweight, fun to drive. And the new MX-5 also gets a rather distinct interpretation of Kodo, which you're going to see in a moment, as well as our latest version of MZD Connect, our smartphone connectivity system, and many other features. And in addition to all of that, we still reduce the weight by more than 100 kilograms versus today's car by intelligent solutions, not replacing material with aluminum and carbon and blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now, Kevin spoke earlier about the tightrope walk between keeping up with modern expectations on the one hand, but without diminishing the car's soul and universal appeal on the other. And the primary purpose of MX-5 has always been fun to drive, and that purpose has been obvious for the last 25 years. So honestly, without further ado, I think you've waited, frankly, long enough. Yeah. Haven't you? Yeah, I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is my pleasure to pull the cover off the new MX-5. Here you go. So here it is. All the cameras are out. You are welcome now. Please join me on the stage. You can have a look for yourself. Come on up, have a look, enjoy.